Welcome to the deep dive. Sometimes you see a list of literary terms and you think, okay, I should probably get my head around these, but, well, it feels a bit much.
Definitely.
Yeah,
A bit intimidating, maybe.
exactly. So, for you today, we've actually taken a literary terms quiz as our source, and we're doing the deep dive. Think of it as your shortcut to feeling, properly clued in about literature's language. No heavy lifting required.
That's the idea. And this quiz, it actually covers a really wide range. I mean, from the absolute nuts and bolts of storytelling
Right.
to some quite nuanced poetic stuff. So
Yeah.
our mission really is to pull out the interesting bits, the useful things that'll enhance how you read or watch things.
Okay, let's dive in. The quiz kicks off with the absolute fundamentals. What makes a story? Well, a story. First up are things like plot.
Uh-huh. The what happens?
Yeah, the sequence of events, but it's more than just a list, isn't it? You've also got the people, their personalities, what makes them tick.
Crucial.
And setting, the where and when, which can be so important. These feel like the real building blocks.
They absolutely are. Any story you think of, it boils down to those three. But what's neat is how writers play with them. Like, the quiz then brings up humor.
Ah, humor.
We
Okay.
all know it's funny, sort of, but the quiz actually points out a difference between just general humor and wit.
Oh, right, I see. So humor is the big umbrella term. Anything amusing.
Pretty much. But
Yeah.
wit is sharper, more intelligent, quicker. It's about that clever turn of phrase, that smart connection.
Got it. So slipping on a banana peel might be humorous.
Yeah, maybe slapstick.
But a really clever, cutting remark, that's wit.
Exactly. And from humor, the quiz sort of pivots to other emotions, other dramatic tools. We get pathos.
Pathos, that's about feeling, right? Sadness.
Yeah, it's that quality that evokes pity or sadness in the audience. Think of really heart-wrenching moments. Then there's irony.
Oh yeah, irony, saying one thing, meaning the opposite.
Totally. Like saying, oh, fantastic, when everything's gone wrong. It adds layers, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. And speaking of things not being what they seem, surprise comes up. It's that basic feeling when the unexpected happens.
Uh-huh. A sudden plot twist, maybe?
And then kind of the opposite end of the scale, perhaps farce.
Farce.
Yeah.
That's comedy dialed way up. Over-the-top situations, lots of physical comedy, absurdity.
Right, like people running in and out of doors, mistaken identities, all that stuff.
Yes.
Very silly.
Very silly, exactly. But it shows the range, from subtle irony to broad farce. And then the quiz takes another turn into poetry, the sound of language.
Okay. Poetry basics. So rhyme must be first.
Yep. That repetition of similar sounds, usually at the ends of lines. Very common, very noticeable.
And rhythm,
Yeah.
the flow, the beat of the words.
Right. And the quiz breaks that down further. He talks about the syllable, just a basic unit of pronunciation.
Like water has 2 syllables.
Exactly. And then stress.
Yeah.
The emphasis you put on a syllable. Like
Yeah.
in what the stress is on the first one.
Okay.
And you mentioned something called syllabic verse.
Syllabic verse.
Yeah, where the number of syllables per line is the main organizing principle, not necessarily the pattern of stresses. A bit more niche, maybe?
Interesting. It shows how deliberate poets are with sound.
Totally. And related to rhythm is the idea of pauses. The quiz mentions pause generally, but also the specific term caesura.
Caesura. Right, that's the pause inside a line of poetry, isn't it?
Exactly, like a little breath or a break for emphasis right in the middle of the flow.
Creates a different kind of rhythm.
It does. And while building on sound and rhythm, the quiz moves to figurative language, making pictures with words.
Ah, okay. Simile and metaphor territory.
You got it. Starts with simile, comparing things using as or like. The example given was, as brave as a lion.
Classic. Easy to spot.
And then metaphor, which is more direct, saying one thing is another thing. The quiz had, the classroom was a zoo.
Yeah, paints a picture immediately. Chaos.
Exactly. No like or as, just a direct substitution. Then we get personification.
Giving human qualities to non-human things.
Right. Like the wind whispered. Makes nature feel, well, personal.
Uh-huh. And alliteration must be in there, too.
Though for sure. That repetition of the first consonant sound, Peter Piper picked. Everyone knows that one.
Very catchy. Creates a sonic effect.
Definitely. These tools really add texture. So the quiz then shifts again more towards structure and rhetoric, how arguments are built, how sentences work. Starts with rhetorical question.
The question you ask but don't expect an answer to.
Precisely. It's for effect, to make the audience think, like, who wouldn't want that?
Right. Then parallelism.
Yeah, this is about structure, arranging similar ideas in similar grammatical ways. He gives a sense of balance, makes things flow smoothly.
Like, I came, I saw, I conquered.
Perfect example. And the flip side is contrast, putting different things together to highlight the difference.
Makes the differences stand out more.
Exactly. Then there's just basic repetition, saying something again for emphasis.
Simple but effective. Really hammering a point home.
We can build rhythm, too, or intensity.
Yeah.
Then, inversion.
Oh, like Yoda. Switching word order.
Yeah. Strong with the force you are.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you notice the language, sounds maybe more formal or poetic sometimes.
Definitely sounds different than ellipsis.
Those 3 dots, indicating something's missing or left unsaid.
Creates a pause or implies something.
And finally in this bit, collocation.
Collocation. Words that just sound right together.
Kind of. Yeah, words that naturally tend to pair up in English. Like strong coffee or heavy rain. Not powerful coffee or dense rain, usually.
Yeah, I see. It contributes to sounding natural.
Exactly. So all these structural things affect meaning, which leads nicely into the next section, digging into meaning and dramatic effect, starting with theme.
The theme, the big idea, right? The central message or subject.
Yep, what it's all really about. Then a really interesting one, dramatic irony.
Oh, I like this one. When the audience knows something the characters don't.
Yes, it creates suspense, sometimes humor, sometimes dread. You're watching thinking, oh no, don't go in there, because you know what's waiting.
Such a powerful tool.
It really is. Then the quiz brings up dramatic monologue.
Okay, so one person speaking.
Right. A single character delivering a long speech, usually revealing their thoughts or the situation to the audience or another character. But it's different from a soliloquy.
Ah, yes. Soliloquy is when they're alone on stage, right? Speaking their thoughts aloud, like Hamlet's to be or not to be.
Exactly. It's their inner thoughts, unheard by others in the play. And then there's also the aside.
That's when they turn and talk straight to the audience, isn't it? Like breaking the fourth wall for a second.
Kind of, yeah. The other characters supposedly don't hear it. It's a quick comment, a shared secret.
Creates a very direct connection.
It does. Different ways to get inside a character's head or give the audience privileged info. Okay, next up. Substitution and imagery. Starting with metonymy.
Metonymy. That's substituting something closely related, isn't it? Like the crown for the monarchy.
Precisely. Or Hollywood for the film industry. And closely related is synecdoche.
Synecdoche, part for whole, like all hands on deck, meaning all sailors.
Exactly. Or asking someone if you can borrow their wheels, meaning their car. The quiz notes synecdoche is often seen as a type of metonymy.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. A specific kind of substitution.
Right. Then simply imagery, which is fundamental.
Using language to create pictures in the reader's mind. Sensory details.
Absolutely vital. Making the abstract concrete, letting us see, hear, feel what's being described. And then apostrophe.
Not the punctuation mark.
No. This is addressing someone absent, dead, or even an inanimate object or abstract idea as if it could hear you.
Like, oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo, even though he's not there initially.
Perfect example. Or talking to the moon, or freedom with a capital F. It's usually quite emotional.
Right. Okay, then the quiz seems to loop back to poetry's flow again with enjambment.
Yeah, enjambment. Or sometimes called a run-on line. It's when the grammatical sense of a line of poetry doesn't stop at the line break, but continues on to the next line.
So there's no punctuation, no natural pause at the end of the line. It forces you to read on.
Exactly. Creates flow, momentum. Can sometimes create interesting ambiguities or emphasis when you hit the next line.
And the opposite is?
End stopped line. That's where the line ends with punctuation, a natural grammatical pause, a comma, a period, whatever.
Gives it more finality, maybe? A more contained feeling per line?
Often, yeah. More pause, more separation between the line's ideas. The quiz also slips in emendation.
Emendation sounds like editing.
It basically is. It's the scholarly process of correcting errors or corruptions in a text, trying to restore the author's original words.
Ah, okay. Like fixing typos in old manuscripts.
Sort of, yeah. Or figuring out what a word should be if it's unclear. Then a quick look at judging poets, maybe. Poet taster.
Ooh, sounds negative.
It is. It's a derogatory term for a bad, unskilled, or pretentious poet.
Ouch. Not a compliment you want.
Right.
And then persona.
Right. The persona is the mask or voice the writer adopts for a specific piece. The M speaking in the poem isn't necessarily the poet themselves.
That's a really important distinction, isn't it? The speaker isn't always the author.
Absolutely crucial for interpretation. Okay, nearly there. Couple more on sound and surprise. Onomatopoeia.
Words that sound like what they mean. Buzz, hiss, splash, bang.
Yep. Direct sound imitation, fun to say too, and coup de théâtre.
Sounds French and dramatic.
It is. It means a sudden, striking turn of events in a drama. A real plot twist that shocks or surprises.
That gasp out loud moment in a play.
That's the one. Designed for maximum impact. Then the quiz gets quite technical with the science of verse. Meter and feet.
Okay. Meter. The rhythm pattern.
The regular pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables. And the basic unit of that pattern is called a foot.
A foot. Okay, and there are different kinds.
Oh, yes. The quiz lists quite a few. The most common in English is the I am. Unstressed, then stressed.
Da diem.
Like, shall I compare thee to a summer's day?
Yeah.
That rhythm.
Exactly. Shakespeare loved iambic pentameter. Then there's the trochee, stressed, unstressed. Diunum, like tiger, tiger, burning bright.
Okay, the opposite.
Right. Then spondee, two stressed syllables. D-O-M, D-O-M. Very heavy, emphatic. Gives real weight.
Uh-huh. Anapist, too unstressed, then stressed. Da, D-U-M. Can feel quite galloping.
Like the Assyrian came down like the wolf on the fold.
Perfect. And dactyl stressed, then too unstressed. Diem da. Think murmuring or hickory-dickory-dock.
Okay, got it. It sounds more flowing, maybe.
It can, yeah. And there are even more, like amphibrach da-dum-da and amphimach da-da-dum.
Wow, it's like a whole rhythmic alphabet for poets.
It really is a toolkit. Okay, just a couple more from the quiz. Anachronism.
Something out of its time period in a story, like a smartphone in ancient Rome.
Exactly. Usually a mistake, but sometimes deliberate. And assonance.
Vowel rhyme. Repetition of vowel sounds inside words.
Got it. Like, hear the mellow wedding bells? That E sound
Yeah.
creates internal music.
Nice.
And finally, doggerel.
Another negative one.
Afraid so. Doggerel is rough, clumsy, often unintentionally funny verse. Bad poetry, basically. Trivial subjects, awkward rhythm and rhyme.
Not the goal, then.
Definitely not. So you see, that quiz covered, well, a lot of ground. From story basics to the fine-tuning of poetic meter.
It really did. That's a fantastic overview. You should definitely feel more equipped now.
Hopefully. You've got a solid handle on many key terms now.
And maybe some really stood out, like for me, thinking about dramatic irony or how imagery works, or even just noticing those rhythmic feet.
Exactly. And the key thing is, these aren't just, dusty academic terms. They're what writers actually use. These are the tools.
Right. So knowing them helps you appreciate the craft involved.
It unlocks a deeper appreciation, definitely. You start to see how the effects are created.
Yeah, think about it. How might knowing a character is giving a soliloquy change how you see them? Or spotting that dramatic irony? How does that ramp up the tension for you?
Great points.
Consider how just understanding one term, like, say, metaphor, can suddenly make you reread a line and see a whole new meaning. What other hidden layers might pop out now you've got these concepts in mind?
Absolutely. It really just opens things up, encourages you to look closer next time you read or watch something. There's always more to discover.